We're going to learn a chromatic move, and it's actually part of a blues turnaround. I think you might recognize it. We're playing in A, aren't we? And we have the A minor pentatonic scale. But if you were playing a blues situation where it was an implied dominant 7th tonality, or it was just an A5 with a flat 7, the previous lesson we talked about that flat 3 and 3 being available because we're bridging the gap of minor and major tonality, minor and dominant tonality actually. Well, the same thing's going to apply here. We're going to be using the 3 and move chromatically up to the 5, because if you're playing over an A chord, you've got 1, 3, 5 as the 3 notes that make up an A chord, an A major chord. And if you had A7, you just add the flat 7 to that, right? So let's look at these diagrams. And I think you'll like this because there are a lot of neat licks that you can get from this. Look at diagram 3A. You have your lower octave, so going up to the C sharp and the 9th fret, you have C sharp D, D sharp E. And we're targeting the 5th. You learned in part 1 how important the 5 was as a target note. We spent some time on that. And it's a great lick. Then the unison of it. So let's just listen to that for a minute. And what I'm going to do, I've kind of gotten away from what I really want to demonstrate. I want to keep playing just A minor pentatonic licks, things that you would recognize and be familiar with if you played for a little while, and then drop in these licks so you can see how you're incorporating some new sounds in your playing. I'll play A minor pentatonic, and then I'm going to throw this lick in. There I threw in that flat 3-2. And actually right there I combined everything that we've learned up to this point, okay? We'll get to there in a little bit. I don't want to get too much ahead of myself. But yeah, that was a great sound. And there, you've probably heard this lick before. If I'm playing against a groove, the way I would view that lick is I have an A, which is the root, and then I apply this 3, 4, sharp, 4, 5. At the beginning of this lesson, I said that this would come from one of the turnarounds. You probably recognize it. Right? That's the 3 chromatically up to the 5. So, in your little compartment in your brain, your memory part, you say, oh, this lick, I know this lick. I know it by sound, so I know. But I've got to take it and incorporate it in my playing. Do you see how I used an open A pedal tone or the fretted A, right? There I'm combining what we've learned. 1, 2, 1 flat 3, 1 3, 1 4, 1 sharp 4, 1 5. So you get some interesting sounds, and also you got to be careful with that chromaticism. It can start to sound like circus music pretty soon if you're not careful. But using this and opening up your ears and your vision to say, well, I see A minor pentatonic, but that's a sound. I may not want that. I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm going to show you that lick in a couple lessons down the road. Let's look at diagram 3B. Here we get up into our next octave. Okay, I'm going to zip through this now. Diagram 3C, the higher octave. And then it's available up there. Okay, we just have 3 diagrams on this because if you play it up, you're going to run out of frets unless you got 24 frets. And that's kind of high and screechy, so we're not even going to deal with that. I'm playing a 22 fret neck. If you got 24 frets, knock yourself out and play that higher octave. Let me finish off this lesson and play using things we've learned from the previous 2 lessons and this one.